morning, I want to thank Grace of Heaven, Virtue of Masters, Mercy by Transmitters, and also confidence placed by all of you for the opportunity to lead the explanation of the fifth sermon by Lao-Mu. This is the continuation from last week, and I was covering the fifth sermon by Heavenly Mother. As we know that there are 10 sermons, and they are all kind of connected, so there's a sequence. Okay, in order for all of us to have a good understanding of the 10 sermons, I think it's important that you go and listen to the recording of the previous sermons if you missed some of those classes. They're very helpful. And in this particular sermon, our Heavenly Mother talks about what kind of circumstances we are in terms of time, and what are the features of this era, of this period, and what caused all this, the conditions, the situations, or the disaster. Because this sermon talks about the major disasters that's already happened or it's about to happen, and what we should do in order for us to survive the disasters, the calamities, and we can go back and join our Heavenly Mother in the absolute heaven. Today, I'm going to continue from page 3. It's the second paragraph, and it starts with the settlement of the 60,000 years. Again, this is a very serious sermon, and I feel really it's kind of beyond my ability. So I'd like to invite our senior lecturers and all of you to supplement me if I'm not explaining fully what Lao-Mu is trying to tell us. Okay, so the settlement of 60,000 years will happen this time. God's messengers have put timeless signs to distinguish jade from stone, good from evil. Okay. Yeah, we often talk about the 60,000 years, right? This is about the cycle of reincarnation that we kind of transmigrate in the sixth path, right? In the sixth path. But finally, because we are in that period of time, I think it's in the third of the fourth sermon, lecture talk about, this cycle. Okay, so we are in the last period again. This is the last period. Although it looked like there's still a lot of time, but remember what Longevity Saint of the South Pole said, that when he was kind of dozing up, there were already 7, right? 7 kalpas. So really, it's just like we say like a fraction. It's like a snap. So we really need to seize the opportunity and make the best of our time in this lifetime. So this is the time of judgment, and so God has dispatched some other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to put some kind of timer sign. What does that mean? The timer sign, because we all have done something in this lifetime or in previous lifetime, and they all leave some kind of marks on us. And so this is the invisible sign, but it can tell what kind of what's our timing, maybe, and what's our reward or our punishment. Do we go to the absolute heaven? Do we go to the other path? Or do you go to the underworld? So this is what the sign is about. In Chinese, it means 仇. Okay? And so this will allow whoever is dispatched by Heavenly Mother to get us to where we belong after we leave this world. And so Heavenly Mother said when she looked at what's happening here, she said, Tears fall down when I see all the disaster coming. Okay, last week we talked about the three major disasters, being the what? Wind, water,
Fire.
yeah, actually fire, yeah,
Fire,
water, and then wind, yeah. And remember, in this era of this period, this is not just special, like we say hurricane or tornado. It's something that's even much worse. Like we talk about the nuclear. Nuclear explosion, nuclear weapons, and actually, there's also our Heavenly Mother is hinting at the third wall, which is, mass destruction of this world. And so when she think of this and look at what's going on in this world, she said she couldn't help but crying. Okay, so our Heavenly Mother is just like our own biological mother. They cannot bear to see us suffer. Okay, if you think about our mothers, sometimes they give us some kind of discipline. They might be very mad at us, but sometimes they beat up their children, right? But after that's done, they might go somewhere and crying because, well, there's very very mixed feeling. Our mothers do not want to punish us, but in order to, for the goodness of us, for us to be a better person, they just have to use that kind of discipline. But actually, they are crying their heart out, and so it's the same as our Heavenly Mother. When you look at the scriptures by both, like Holy Teacher, both other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, usually they would use more gentle terms in giving us advice, in guiding us. But if you look at all the letters or the scriptures by our Heavenly Mother, she will always give us the most harsh reality, present a harsh reality, because this is no joking matter. Right? She wants to advise us or make us aware of the severity of these circumstances, because she doesn't want us to sink to the underworld. She wants all of her children to go back to the absolute heaven, to reunite with her. And then the next paragraph. Evil winds arise. Peace and harmony exists nowhere. Wars and riots are looming, and 9 out of 10 humans are lamenting. There will be widespread of plagues, famine, and also droughts. And because of all these disasters, there will be no harvesting because the field will produce no crops. Yeah. Well, you might think like this is like some kind of it sounds like unreal, but if you think of what happened already to this world, we have come across so many things that was unthought of before, like what happened at 9/11, right? And also all the natural disasters that have claimed so many lives. And this disaster, they all happen with unprecedented intensity, and also the scale of destruction is also unprecedented. Okay. If you have anything to add, just jump in, because I think I'm going to try to wrap up this sermon today. So it talks about a lot about the calamities and catastrophes. Yeah.
Catastrophe.
Thank you. So calamities of various kinds are no surprising. Okay, so this is talking about probably the natural disasters. But the worst thing is that the most terrifying is when floods and fire sweep across the globe. And there will be 49 days of complete darkness. Hells are open and the ghosts are released to settle karmic debts from previous lives. Okay, so when there's the weapon of mass destruction is deployed, and this is what we will get 49 days of darkness. And Transmitter Jane often talk about how a temple is like a shelter. It can really help us protect us from all these disasters. And so we are really very fortunate to be cultivating at a temple. And so we need to really take advantage of the opportunity. Try to come to the temple often. Try to learn all these principles and truth so we know how to conduct ourselves, how to live our life, how to cultivate.
Saying, the 49 days. Well, it's implying that there's going to be World War III, which is, obviously it's going to be nuclear war. So, but scientists do say, estimate it'll be roughly 49. Well, whatever, 49 plus or minus whatever, how many days? Roughly that amount of time. 1 to 2 months time, where after nuclear war, there's, you have, because of the fallout and whatnot, the darkness, right, comes in. So you have what they call a nuclear winter, right? So it gets cold because it's blocking the light, sunlight. And so that plants don't grow, or obviously can't grow crops.
Yeah. In one of the Holy Teacher's words, one of the volumes, a Holy Teacher talked in detail about these disasters. And so cultivators, especially those who have already taken the vegetarian vows, are those who are going to survive and help kind of clean up the mess. Yeah. So it's very important that we try to be a vegetarian, and someday we actually take the vegetarian vows. Yeah, remember, there's some kind of invisible sign showing who we are, what we do in our lifetime. And in time of disaster, that's how Buddhas and saints distinguish good from the bad. Okay, let's go on. Darkness and coldness permeate the entire world. Karmic debts will be collected, life for life, or in monetary terms. Fatal winds will wipe out not only humans, but also the entire cosmos. Thus, I'll clean the realms of Deva and human, I will say the celestial being, and humans, purify the three realms. A new world will emerge. Okay, that's how our Heavenly Mother vision the future of this, the three realms. Okay, any question? So the fatal winds actually again talks about the the nuclear wars. Now, when these disasters of such severity actually strike, our Heavenly Mother said, even though my children are made of diamond or copper, it's impossible to survive the real fire disaster. So this real fire disaster is again talking about the nuclear wars. Although I have descended the calamity, I cry day and night in heaven. Okay, but remember in the beginning of the class, I talked about Lao-Mu, our Heavenly Mother, and the Tao, because to some extent, Lao-Mu, our Heavenly Mother, symbolizes the Tao, or it's like a personification of the Tao. And so, because of what we do, we create such an atmosphere. We change our atmosphere in such a way that in due time it's going to come back in kinds, in similar disasters. So it's really not our Heavenly Mother who caused this disaster to happen, to strike the universe. It's just because of what we do, and with the accumulation, the timing will come, and it's going to happen. Yeah, but our Heavenly Mother really doesn't want us to suffer, but she also mentioned that if there's no such disasters, then the evil people will continue to be bad, to do bad things, and this is going to be very unfair to those people who are good, and this is not. It's going to deteriorate the world. So it's important, and this is also the cycle. It just this disasters and calamities, it's just about to happen, and so there'll be a new order, and there's going to be a new cycle. So Heavenly Mother say, I cannot bear not to have good distinguished from the bad. The good people, sorted out from the bad. So I descend a golden thread to illuminate or cast light on your voyage. Okay, so this golden thread is something that it's like a ladder to heaven. Okay, it's like a rope of life. Okay, so we are very fortunate we recognize this.
No,
okay.
lifeline.
A lifeline, yeah. Okay, so we recognize this and we hold fast to this golden thread. But for those who do not have enough affinity, who do not have the foundation, sometimes they are already in the temple. They are also in the middle of the ceremony, but they just change their mind and just walk out of the temple. That's really a shame. There are tens of thousands of roads, yet none of them can deliver us from destruction. So none of the other roads can save us from all these disasters. The only path to survival or resurrection is to receive the Tao or the blessing. Okay, so this is the second time our Heavenly Mother talk about this Tao being the only path to eternity, to survival, to resurrection. And Heavenly Mother also said, for the sake of my children, I hustle and bustle around and delivering countless letters, hoping my children will come to no harm. She actually said it in a different way, hoping that my children will not be hurt. So I take great pain writing to tell you the truth. Okay, so there are so many scriptures our Heavenly Mother bestow on us. This 10 admonition letters is one. There are also 10 another book that has 10 other exhortations, and there is also a book that's called the 13 letters of sentimentality. 13叹 黄木13叹气 like sigh. Yeah. And there's also compilation of other scriptures by our Heavenly Mother, and all of them. If you look at the scriptures, they are not very pleasant to our feeling or to our eyes, but just like the Chinese saying, medicine is very bitter, but it's very helpful, right? So our Heavenly Mother does not try to sugarcoat all this disaster. She wants to present us the situation the way it is, so this can wake up all of us. So she said, I call upon my good sons and daughters. Hastily come ashore. Okay, ashore here means the other bank or the other shore. What's the shore here? So we're talking about two shores, right?
It's to leave the bitter sea. Bitter sea of life.
Yeah. So this shore is our human world, or the three realms, right? Where there are still a lot of impermanence, changeability, life and death, good and bad. But the other shore is the shore of nirvana, perfect enlightenment, or we say the Annuttara Samyak Sambodhi.
Or you can say, no birth, no death, right? It's bliss, you can say. The four nirvana virtues, remember those qualities?
Yeah.
Yeah, you attain that, right? You don't have to reincarnate, you don't have to suffer, etc. etc.
Thank you. So Holy Heavenly Mother said, now that we have received this Tao, the great Tao, we should not have any divided mind. We should be really focused on this great Tao and cultivate according to this Tao. And we use the sword of wisdom. Do you know which Buddha has that sword of wisdom? If you look at the statue of she is known as the Huayan Sansheng, Manjushri.
Yeah. Which
Wenshu Pusa, she's known for her wisdom.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, kind of symbolizes, the sword symbolizes it's something that we can.
Cut out all afflictions, all suffering, all affliction. So, and you can do it only through wisdom, the divine wisdom. Actually, the divine wisdom can break or transcend all suffering and affliction.
Yeah, because that's the fundamental solution and the ultimate solution. We might use some temporary method to probably change our thoughts, but we have to only our divine wisdom. Only when we employing our Buddha nature can we really solve all kinds of problems once and for all, permanently. Okay, so we need to use our wisdom, our Buddha nature, to cut off all the attachments to fame, to wealth, to all kinds of material pursuits. If you are still indulged in the secular world, you need to be aware the world is delusional. Look at this world. Aren't you worried? So, are we worried?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, people still have the three poisons, so of course
Yeah.
they're not worried.
And if
Illusion is one of them, right?
yeah, if you look at this, what's happening in the outside of the, all this cultivation community, something you would really be dumbfounded by, what we see. And my mom told me a story that happened in my city. There was the grandson who likes to, play games in what they call the internet cafe. And once he asked his grandmother again for the money, but the grandmother didn't have any more money to give him. What happened?
Killed.
Yeah. This is true.
He killed her?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
Well,
in
lousy
order.
game?
Yeah. So that greed is so strong, right? Yeah.
Well, the attachment is
People
so
do
strong.
that. Kill for
They don't-
something.
They don't know what's right or wrong anymore. It's out the window. What's right or wrong? What's morality? There's no such thing. It's pretty sad.
Maybe he got his anger
Pretty
controlling
sad.
him.
But this is what happened. Yeah. And you also look at the food poison problem in China. Although it was kind of what we call it's better now. The situation is better now. But how many we say poisonous
Yeah.
baby formula were produced, creating so much death and so many problems for the kids.
Because people are greedy, right?
Yeah, they use.
See, that's why
Everything's
they
for
use
money.
law, right? They use punishment. They executed those people. See, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. Just by applying law, right, to fix a problem, we say, hey, just like the U.S. or most countries, we have a problem. So we have more laws, more punishment, right? Crime and punishment. See, by doing that, just by doing that, we are just instilling fear. Say, hey, if you do A, then we do B to you. So you're not teaching. That's not addressing the fundamental root. You get it? So that's why you can create all the laws in the universe. It's still not going to change because people still are attached to the three poisons. See, that's where our Tao is different. It's above. It's above. It's the solution. Maybe that's a better answer to society problems. To the notions of just using laws or whatever, right? Okay. So you have to address the root, which is why are people greedy? Why are people attached? Well, maybe you look at the system, your system. Look at it. You have leaders who are corrupt, who are literally, whatever, racist and whatever. I don't know. I mean, so are they worthy? I mean, that's total contrary to what Confucius taught or what Mencius taught, right? That leaders have to be role models. Hello? If you look at our president today, I hope he's a great role model, man. I hope he is. But anyway, I doubt that. I mean, or previous, whatever. Or not just all over the world, okay? So we are not addressing the fundamental problem. We're just relying on, America loves to say, the way they say, oh, we want to spread our democracy, American exceptionalism. We have institutions, we have good laws, blah, blah, blah. That's not addressing the fundamental problem. You are even worse off with more laws. So, your whole system is corrupt. That's why this person got elected, because that was his message. Whole system's correct. It's corrupt. Elections rigged, everything's rigged, blah, blah, blah. Fake news, blah, blah, blah. So that's not addressing the fundamental issue. So that's why we have to cultivate the Tao. Okay? Only then can society change. Without it, it's hopeless. Seriously, it's sad. It's sad. It's tragic.
Yeah, I don't know which scientist also said that with the advance of modern technology, if there's no foundation of virtue or the conscience, then scientific advances really spell the ruin.
Yeah, it's like it's just
Einstein,
going to
right?
make things much worse. You could say it perpetuates it, and it accelerates it. It accelerates it. So yeah, science is basically a tool. It's not a panacea. It's not an elixir. It's a tool. And unfortunately, most people, 99% of people, look to these tools as if it's the elixir. It's the solution. See? So go back to your presentation, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Confucius said what? The superior person is not a tool. Right? 君子,君子不器. Right? We don't, the superior person, i.e., person of the Tao, you can say, okay. It's not a tool. In other words, the 君子, the superior person, does not mistake a tool as the principle. Get it? As the foundation. A tool is nothing more than an application. It could be neutral. It could be good or bad. So if you don't have a good foundation or a moral foundation or whatever, then you're going to apply it to bad uses. You're going to think of new ways or using the internet to hack, to get money, to do whatever. I don't know, whatever. Right? So you're applying the tools. So the tools are not just, but Americans are like this. We have AI, artificial intelligence. We have new tools. We have new applications. Oh, that's going to solve the world's problem. Blah. They're going down the wrong path. They're barking up the wrong tree. That's called delusion. It's called ignorance because they don't understand what the fundamentals are, what the foundation is. All they see is just the tools, the functions, and they think those functions and tools are the real thing. Just like most people say, why do people are greedy? Why do people have attachment? Because they think my body is the real thing. My body, my physical body, or my mind, my conscience is the real thing. It's the true thing. That's false. Those are just applications, functions, right? I talked about it in the previous class, right? What are those second and third treasure? Those are functions. Those are just applications. Your mind, your body are just nothing more than manifestations of the Trikaya, right? Right? It's only the Dharmakaya. The Buddha nature is real. That's the only thing that's true. So we missed the whole thing. We missed it by light years. So that's why The world is it's going down that road. So it's no surprise. It should not be surprised. Philosophers, great thinkers, think tanks, all these pundits, all these so-called experts are wondering, gee, why is the world so messed up? Let's come up with solutions. And all they do is just applying more tools to everything. And I think that will solve the problem. So therefore, Facebook say, hey, I'm going to make social media, I'm going to make people more connected. Yeah, right. So you have more connected, you have more fake news, whatever. So it doesn't make sense. We missed the boat by a mile. Where am I? By light years. That's sad.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's it. So that's why we have to study, learn the Tao. And that's why I go back to what Confucius said, what Lao-Tzu said, what Buddha said. It's the same principle. That's the fundamental.
Yeah.
Set.
Yeah. So I think maybe you can read the rest of the paragraph for yourself. But we know there are so many disasters, and we know that actually our Heavenly Mother also mentioned why do we have all these disasters? It's really they really arise from we say the poisons, right? The greed, the anger, from the ignorance, from doubt, from arrogance. In Sister Lee's class, she also talked about this. Like we say, greed attracts calamity in the form of what? Water.
Yeah.
Greed. Okay. Do you remember? Go ahead. Anger.
The rage is fire.
Yes. Volcano. Yeah. Volcano, and also the increase of temperature, and then the ignorance.
Ignorance or delusion.
Yeah. It's
The
wind, hurricane, nuclear wars, and arrogance attracts earthquake, and doubt attracts like mudslides, sinkholes. Yeah, but out of these five, we say, negative or vicious attributes, the most fundamental problem is what? The ignorance. Because of ignorance, then this. They can't just follow, logically. Yeah, so it's important that we learn the truth, so we know what's real, what is more permanent, what's more important, and so we will not continue to commit the other problems, the other faults. Yeah, and so it's very important that we learn about the 6 parameters, because with the 6 parameters the 6 parameters can help us counteract or offset or deliver us from some of these poisons. Okay, do you remember, like how do we offset greed? We learn to what? To give. Yeah, charity. Learn to give. It's not just give money or materials or kinds. It's also the giving of ourselves, teaching, Dharma teaching.
Everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and also in order for us to offset some of our misconducts, here it talks about like. 邪淫, it's like viciousness and obscenity. It's really everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Lust.
When we observe all the precepts, right, disciplines, then we won't do anything. We will follow the Noble Eightfold Path. Yeah, and then how do you offset or transform anger? Okay. Forbearance or patience. Yeah, forbearance or patience. Yeah, sometimes if we really vent that anger, it does not really do us any good. Just kind of learn to let it go, right? If people
It's not easy. People have an ego, right? They say, oh, you're insulting me, you're disrespecting me, the ego, right? So
But
it's not easy.
that's why if we understand the true knowledge,
Right.
then that becomes easier, right? There's no reason. no need to have that kind of relationship. It like what we often talked about. It may be what we did to them. It may be from previous karma from previous years, right? And if we just attach to this anger, who is unhappy? We are unhappy, right? And sometimes this like between maybe two countries, this might lead to wars, conflicts, so it's not good. And of course, we also need to learn to be diligent in our learning, and also in practicing the Tao. Yeah, because then the more we understand the principle, and the more we apply the principle to our action, they are going to accumulate, and over time, there's going to be a big leap. Okay, sometimes we might not see our progress so remarkably, but over a certain period of time, as we just continue learning, continue doing, you will see a big jump, a big leap. And do you remember the other two parameters? We talked about that just now in lecture Kai's samadhi, right? Samadhi, or concentration. Yeah.
Yeah, concentration,
And then
samadhi,
and
then wisdom.
the last one is the prajna, or the wisdom.
Divine
Yeah.
Mahaprajna.
Yeah, so it's not just book knowledge. It's really using our Buddha nature to guide us. And if we are always relying on our Buddha nature, then there's no chance that we can deviate from the truth. And our conduct, our mindset, our mentality will always be proper. Yeah. So we are very fortunate to have the opportunity to come to the classes at Temple to learn about all the truth. But the important thing is that we really understand the essence of learning, and we try to internalize all this learning so that they become part of us, and they can be our guidance in our daily conducts. And when all of us do this together, we create a very positive environment, or you say a very good magnetic field. And according to the law of attraction, when we are positive, we attract positive things, right?
And people.
Yeah, and people. And so we are cultivators. We have the awareness, so we need to try to work on this, so as to lead this world to have that positive influence over our surroundings, the environment. Okay. Anything like to add?
Hey, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
On page 148, on that, on yours, it's the last page. On the third paragraph on the bottom, it says 7 out of 10 will perish. Are you sure? Really?
4分钟17分.
No, what does it say in the book?
Yeah, it says 7 out of 10.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
10分钟死7分呢。
Yeah, I mean 70%.
yeah. Transcendental Jin also often talk about that, and I think there's
That's a scary thought.
It is. It's you don't win, because if you get to live, you got to clean up all that mess. So you
Yeah.
just don't win.
This reminds me, Lao-Tzu 道德经 also has that similar phrase to that. 七分3分 in one of the chapters. I forgot, it's one of the later chapters. You know that? But I didn't know that he was talking about this. I don't know, talking about disasters and stuff. Maybe he was. I don't know. This is what, I mean, it's not, so that means very few are going to be saved.
Yeah, right.
It's really sad.
Only the true cultivators.
But it goes on to say 3 others in pain, so all
Well,
10 everybody
Yeah,
suffers.
I mean, the others, the remaining, obviously it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Conditions are not going to be very good.
Man, I don't want to be around for that.
During the cleanup, I guess it's
You will be around.
Remember, there's no food and there's not even drinking water.
Yeah. All darkness.
So it really rely on our own physical fitness. And
okay. So early on, you were encouraging everyone to become vegetarian, right? But,
yeah.
Still, when we spoke about the tree poison, but it's so hard because greed and ignorance are two things that are very difficult to get rid of, because you have most of the people who are not vegetarian, they rely on drugs, so the medication and so forth. And what it does is it causes more illnesses. So, and because the people who are making the drugs, they are gaining lots of, rewards from the drugs. So, like Lecturer Kai says, all the laws are just, there, and they're not a solution for the problem. Because like this morning I heard in the news about this fighter who ordered drugs on the internet, and he got arrested. But you are saying that if you know that this particular drug is causing such problem, people are committing suicides, and so by taking it, and then they made a new law to stop people from sending this drug in the prisons. So just like you said, they are creating laws, and it's not, the law should be to take it, the solution should be take it out of the system so nobody have access to it. So again, it's greed, and it's not helping. So from what you're encouraging, if more people become vegetarian, there are so many, the vegetables have all that us humans need when we have a problem, So we just have to know, we just have to ask questions or do our own research, so to get rid of that, help to get rid of the tree poisons.
But even after a nuclear disaster, vegetarians will suffer just as much as meat eaters, because there'll be no vegetables to eat.
Well, yeah, I mean in general, but basically, the Buddhists is to say, the survivors will be vegetarians for one, okay? So then, like was said earlier, temples are a sanctuary, okay? So if you can get yourself to a temple, you can be safe. Now you say, there's no food. Well, apparently, you don't need the food, actually. I mean, the holy water can sustain you for a while, okay? So, I mean, heaven will find a way to help these people, let them survive, right? If they deserve, I guess. Obviously it's not a good, we think, it's probably, it wouldn't be a good time
It's not
to
reassuring, but
be alive during that
the key thing
time.
is this,
But
regardless, right? You do your best and cultivate
Yeah.
Now when the time is still good, the good times, baby. Okay, now is the time to cultivate. Don't think, you know what? I'm gonna eat and enjoy. Play more games, whatever. Well, when the blank hits the fan, oh, God have mercy. It's too late. Sorry. So now is the time when you're still healthy, when you're still able, cultivate. Do your darnest. That's it. Then that's how you accumulate what we call merits and virtues. And those merits and virtues is what will, you can say, quote unquote, protect you or help you when the blank hits the fan. Okay, when the blank hits the fan, you can't rely and say, some of these guys, like, some of these American guys, I built a bunker, man, underground bunker, and I stock it with, 10 years worth of dry food or whatever, water supply, and I'm loaded to the teeth, I got arms, I got 10,000 weapons, I can defend myself against these zombies or marauders that will come in the future.
No, they do have.
That's delusional. That's delusional, okay?
That's in the movie.
No, but they do.
But
But
that's
for real,
delusional.
they
But
do
that's
have,
real.
they do have
Yeah,
it for
they do
real.
have-
Survivalists, I mean, they have all that, you know, especially in America, because everybody owns guns or whatever. So, you know, that's sad. You know, so they're just going down that path. And, you know, what's the virtues of merit? Throw that out the window. Don't recognize the vocabulary. What the heck is that? There's no such thing. It's every person for themselves. Okay? See, and that's sad. Okay, so that's why the only solution, that's why all the Buddhas say, holy teachers, and all the scriptures at Dhamma, they all say, cultivate, try your dharmas, accumulate merit and virtues. That's the only solution. How's that? There's no other, you know, and also, you know, obviously, you know, setting up temples is like a sanctuary too. It's like a safe haven in the stormy sea, okay, or stormy night, okay. So that's something, you know, worthy pursuing, okay. And it's word to the wise, okay. So, you know, you may not believe it, okay, fine. But then when the day comes, just don't regret it. Don't have any regrets, okay. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, talking from my own experience, I wish I really could help the temple more. I could help people more, like such as, you know, ferrying people to the Tao, also trying to encourage them to cultivate the Tao. But I'm not doing as much as I could. I wish, but I still try to make time for that. It's not just altruistic. It's also for my own good. For my own good, because we don't know what we did in our past lives. Sometimes there are signs in our life showing us that we may not have done so well in our past lives. We have encountered some obstacles, some difficult situations. Those are all reminders, and so I just feel I need to do more. Pretending that I have a lot of debts from previous lives, you know, that's the only sure way to protect us, to help ourselves. Yeah. Okay. Okay. If I say anything wrong, I ask for forgiveness of Buddhas and saints, and please also help me afterwards.